Hello and welcome back to the second episode of Focal Point. Welcome back once again. Today we are going to continue on our topic from last time on the distance that there is between employment and graduation for our youth and for our immigrant population and just for everybody in general. And we are going to also continue to talk about the booming logistics and supply chain industry and how it's made its way and be crossed over into all of these other industries and giants along the way as well. I would like to welcome back with us Mr. Mazhar Ayub, our residential expert on supply chain management and logistics. Welcome back.
Thank you so much, Anoush, for having me on the show. Thank you so much. Actually, we are here. We're trying to build a momentum. If you look at the nature of our show, we're trying to build the momentum where people can actually focus on the supply chain and logistics if they want to have their career path in this direction. So we are not just talking about the issues, actually. I mean, we're not just touching base that these are the industries you should be going and studying. We're actually giving you some solutions to that as well, because we know that in order to be eligible for a job, this requires a certain amount of preparation. I mean, I can talk about it, but the point is, if I do not have that material, and I'm not taking those steps towards that direction, I wouldn't be able to achieve the target that I'm keeping in my mind. So our effort is basically, jointly what we are doing right now, and the platform that we are using is to actually look into that way forward. That if I want to associate myself in the logistics industry, and I would like to do something which is basically, I want to be a practitioner in a supply chain or logistics or shipping or freight forwarding, what is that specific thing that I should be doing? And we are trying to say, because, like in any, if you go to university or college, you won't find specific courses for these, actually. That's one of the reasons. The transformation that took place over the past decade, and rather couple of decades, it is still not incorporated in the courses of university. Yeah, we do get some kind of information about supply chain here and there, yes, freight forwarding, but the first-hand information right from the horse's mouth, I would rather say, is only from the practitioners who are part of the industry and associated to that. So this platform, actually, what we are trying to do here together is to find that way that makes everybody's life easy. No matter what you're studying, doesn't matter what you're studying in a college or what are your main subjects. But side by side, if you are focusing and investing time in supply chain or logistics, then we can help you so that you can be part of the future most, I would say, dynamic industry, which is logistics industry. You can be part of the, express world, which means the express transportation. You can be part of the freight forwarding. You can be part of the warehousing. And if you put everything together, this becomes a fulfillment center. And if you are qualified, you have the credentials, you have done some courses, you can work with that. So our major target is to minimize the gap between the people having their goals in order to achieve them. So Anoush, she has done some research work, actually, and today she's going to give us some in her inputs about Brassy, which is predominantly an organization based in USA, but they are doing a great job for people around the world by providing them certain courses, which are also online courses. And those are, it calls a global digital class. This covers some management supply chain courses, shipping and freight forwarding. It also covers some other small courses. So I think Anoush has some information on that. But before we move there, Anoush, would you please be specific about Brassy first before you move on to the courses?
Absolutely, absolutely. So Brassy is an organization from the States, and its major focus is to educate and to bridge that gap between the theory that you learn in school and the hands-on knowledge from the workplace. So it stands for Business Research and Service Institute. And the great thing that I found that Brassy does by offering its courses is when it tries to bridge this gap, it has industry experts who teach you. So it's not just like a professor in a classroom just teaching, someone who's, and most of our people who've done PhDs are very knowledgeable as well, but people who've worked in the industries, that they've taken those people, brought them in to further extend on the courses and be like, what do you look for? What are you looking for in the workplace? And then in terms of education, offer in-person classes, digital classes, work at your own pace, because they're also looking to educate those who want to advance their certifications, because that is always important. Growth is also important. One of the wonderful things Brassy does is they give you a whole library of information that you're able to access anytime you want. And the best thing I found while speaking to the people at Brassy as well was they have simulation workshops. Which is what I feel like really bridges the gap from the theory that you learn in college and university classes and what employers are looking for. You can say, hey, yeah, I've done this. I have firsthand knowledge. I have experience. I've been mentored. I've been coached. And being like, yeah, I've done simulations similar to this. And it gives just you a deeper level of understanding. Now, Brassy does have about approximately 10 different courses that they offer. And the reason that we want to speak about these courses today is because we want to give solutions to the problems that we are presenting to you as well. So we'll go over just a couple of them. But first, let me go over some of the careers that we're looking at. So demand managers, purchasing specialists, inventory managers, production managers, logistic coordinators, operational planning, customer service, and many others in supply chain, manufacturing, and logistics.
Wow, that's pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah, and what I noticed while doing my research over the past couple of weeks from the last episode to this episode is a lot of jobs outside of transportation and logistics are requiring supply chain management. For example, like I was on the Air Canada website and I was looking at some jobs because I wanted to get an understanding for our viewers of what's on the market, what's available, and what the requirements are. And I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact title of the job, but I was shocked that it required supply chain management. And sometimes within airport services right at the front and center, you're not going to assume that they require supply chain management. But what I've found is that from this research and looking at these job postings and their requirements is, like I said earlier, that the descriptions, they're being intermixed. These infrastructures, they're being intermixed. These industries are being intermixed as well. And it's going to be a very short period of time between, when you're going to be able to take one degree in one sector and be able to apply it to another. It's just about the diversification of your knowledge. So the first course that I would like to highlight that Brassy does offer is called SysCom, which is a certification in supply chain and operations management.
So before we move to SysCom, I just would like to basically, wrap up what you just said. Brassy does actually the instructor-led classes, which means they can organize classes. Absolutely. Which are instructor-led, and at the same time keeping in view the situation around us, the COVID thing, the post-COVID thing. And in order to make everybody's life easy, they also do the global digital classes, which are online classes.
Yes.
And all those roles that you referred are very potential. I think everybody wants to be part of that rather than just being part of frontline. You can be someone like that. You can be someone playing a very vital role in an organization just by elevating yourself to a point where you're not just knowledgeable, but you also have the credentials. So this is what basically Brassy does. And like Anoush rightly pointed out, it is not just about, going to, a college or a university and sitting in a class and getting some knowledge from the professors. these people who are teaching logistics and supply chain are actually industry practitioners. And some of them are actually ex-CEOs, COOs, which are chief operating officers, managing directors. And then, the information, they have done something, they have tested those waters actually before they pass on this information to others. So I would also like that, since Anoush is doing a research work on, and I'm very impressed the way she has moved on to, in order to understand the logistics industry and how it operates and what potentials are there for us and how we can basically bridge the gap for the people who are looking their future, finding jobs, and even identifying the roles. What kind of, you just mentioned actually that these roles can be incorporated. So even from the name that you can see, it is to understand that how I can be eligible to that. What credentials do I need? What kind of certification?
Makes you competitive.
What makes me competitive? What makes me better than others? If there are 50 graduates from the same university, how do I stand out actually?
How you stand out is when you're looking at a job description and it says supply chain management would be an asset, you fulfill that need.
That's true.
That is how you get, and through these courses is how you apply that and how all of that becomes applicable. And then suddenly everything that has, oh, this is an asset, you're fulfilling that need. You're being competitive. You're jumping positions. You're getting out of the front lines. You're having those integrated roles that you're looking for.
Amazing. So please, could you tell us about this, the Syscom thing?
Yes, absolutely. So Syscom is just one of the courses that Brassy offers. It is a certification in supply chain and operations management. In that, so the training covers concepts, processes, the terminologies, the formulas, and the calculations that you would need for supply chain and logistics functions. So what you're going to do is you're going to learn straight from number 1 all the way to 100, all the way till the end. So even if you haven't studied supply chain and logistics in a university classroom or a college classroom, don't worry, we've got it handled. You're going to learn everything. Plus, you're going to learn all those applications. You're going to take it a step further. You have all of those options for learning: the digital classrooms, the in-person, the instructor-led, and at your own pace if you're looking to just enhance your certifications. But like I said, the best part is it's hands-on. Those simulations and softwares that Brassy has put their time and effort into creating for you, giving you those experiences, and the coaching and the instructor specifically within the Syscom course to give you the knowledge for when you walk into an interview or when you're speaking to a hiring manager, so you know what to say and you know what to leverage. So Syscom is just one of the wonderful courses that Brassy offers, where it covers everything from the beginning to the end.
Well, thank you, Anoush, for great information and insights. Actually, you just shared. I mean, I spent about 3 decades in the industry. I've been associated to supply chain and logistics and transportation and shipping and stuff like that. And I believe how important it is to enhance your skills. And what I understand that this is not only, it is not just the, it's not just the education that you are getting from this. You're also enhancing your skills, which is, I believe that for any future job, for any, any time that you look for a job, actually, you have to have certain skills, actually. That's so important, not just the credentials and the certificates that this is what I got, this is the degree that I have, but set of skills is so important, actually. And I believe that these simulations and then, obviously, doing these certification, they enhance your skills.
Because you can read a theory book as many times as you want to read it, but if you cannot apply it when a hiring manager is asking you to apply those skills, and you're not able to explain and you're not able to communicate and you don't know the terminology, you're done. They might as well hire someone who doesn't know the terminology, because it's easier to read the book and memorize, but has the ability to apply those skills. And that is a whole other skill set and a whole other topic of being able to apply the knowledge you have. And that's what Brassy does with the numerous ways that it teaches. And that is also what we're looking to explain to you when we cover this supply chain logistics, is covering the theory and the knowledge and making it applicable and getting you to a position where you're competitive, where you walk in the door and where you're able to explain and you're able to communicate your skills that you may already have.
Amazing. So how would you, how Syscom can help us? I mean, what is your research work? What is your actually take on that? You basically went through what Syscom is doing. So what exactly what Syscom stands for actually?
Syscom is the certification in supply chain and operations management. So Syscom isn't really the entry-level position if you haven't done supply chain and logistics to start off with. Brassy does offer an easier, not an easier, but a lower starting point as well if you're brand new, that I will cover later on as well. But certification supply chain and operations management is something I would suggest to someone who's been working for quite a few years, who's potentially looking to make a transition from one industry to the other, or who is already within the supply chain and logistics industry, or finds that, you know, the jobs that they're looking for nowadays has that description for it, to be able to do these courses. Syscom, like I said, like I read off the list of job descriptions, managers, procurement managers, inventory, all of that. But like I said, there are other courses and we can go over those starting. I know I gave you a whole bunch of information before we left, so let's just cover up the end of Syscom, and then we'll tell you about the rest of the courses that Brassy has to offer as well, or at least some of them. So if you are looking to do Syscom, some areas of interest might be like the 4 C's of business, which we are looking at customer service, cash flow, cost, and capacity. So those are basically the big general module areas that it will cover, which should give you a good indication of how it covers everything from the start to the end of the programs and then the trainings as well. Would you like to add anything?
Yeah, please. I think you've covered it pretty well. Actually, the only thing that I would like to add on to it, that what we need to understand, that the evolving logistics industry around us. And like I always mentioned, that in the past, something that was considered as a local delivery and a pickup point, now it has transformed into a scientific phenomena actually. And the emergence of the fulfillment centers. Because like in the past, we used to see the freight forwarders, the warehouse keepers, and some other express companies. But today we see the fulfillment center where we can handle everything from point A to the final mile delivery actually. And final mile delivery means that whatever now we are buying online requires a final mile delivery. There's nothing possible without the final mile delivery. It has no meanings, no matter how beautiful or professional website that you can make. But end of the day, if you are not doing this final mile delivery, I don't think so that solves the purpose. So Syscom has the course has the ability that it can give you the knowledge, it can enhance your skill, it can make you eligible, so that you can, if there are any openings, at the moment you find, you say, these are the credentials I have, and I can go. The best part about it, it is a 39 hours course, which is not just accredited, it is also basically, it is accredited, number one,
yeah,
and it is certified. So you get credits actually, the 39 hours, if you're a student, you get 39 hours credit irrespective where you go. And it's an ANSI approved course actually. Yep. The one of the authorities actually based in US, they approve this Syscom course. So it is 39-hour course. It's very cost effective. It's not very expensive. If you look at the value that you're adding to your credentials, trust me, it is just peanuts what you're paying for. And we can share certain how much the course costs you. But initially it's a 39-hour course. They make it easy for you, making it under a global enrollment, under a global digital class. It is accredited and it is certified also.
All of Brassy's courses are accredited, and people students have done courses from Brassy, especially Syscom, and they've gone on to work for Coca-Cola, Cadbury, Bell, Deloitte, BlackBerry, Sunbeam, Amazon. So it's not just your run-of-the-mill course just from anywhere, right? They've put in the effort to put together the theory, the application, get you the mentors, get you the tutors, and set you up for careers with these big giants, with these big companies, these industry giants.
Amazing, amazing. That's pretty good. So this is predominantly about Syscom, but since we have other courses for, like, I mean, in our last show, one thing that we highlighted, that what are those 3 different dimensions that these courses can help. So first of all, we agreed upon, and we know for the fact that the students actually who are already graduating from different colleges and universities can enhance their skills by taking these courses in order to be more eligible for any openings in the logistics industry. So the students, the first, number one. Number two, the people who are already in the industry, people working for FedExes and UPSs and freight forwarding companies.
People working for Coca-Cola, Cadbury, Bell, BlackBerry, Amazon, Sunbeam, all these places that I just mentioned.
All these, she named it actually, all these big giants, I mean, who are basically considered to be the corporate world.
Because right now our audience might think that, hey, when we're talking about logistics and shipping, we're just talking about FedEx, UPS, Perlator, Canada Post, all these. No. Like I told you Air Canada, like Coca-Cola, like these Sunbeam, BlackBerry, all these big giants, these are places that the students of these courses have gone to work with their accreditations.
So true. So that's she rightly pointed out. I mean, so these are the areas where we can actually position ourselves. I mean, we like I always say, we have to position ourselves before there are openings, because if you do not have those credentials, we don't have those expertise, we don't have those skills, then we shouldn't be actually having any wishful thinking that I'll be selected for a job.
Yeah.
So here we are, like, in the beginning of the discussion, we said we're going to bridge the gaps, and we would like to give you the solutions. One of the solutions that we got, and we are sharing with you, that if you are pursuing any career in the future in logistics, supply chain, and the industry giants that she just named, you can actually position yourself by picking up these courses and understanding how fast you can be part of that race. So that's number one. So we said students. Then we said the people who are already associated
in the industry.
For example, these freight forwarders or these mega companies. In their shipping and logistics, they can go for these courses. And number 3, the newcomers. I always focus, Canada is a country where the mass majority is coming from Southeast Asia and the Middle East, and they don't have the Western education.
Not even Southeast Asia and the Middle East, but all over the world.
All over
Canada
the world.
is just a melting pot of different cultures and different people from different countries. The vast majority of our economy actually runs on immigration.
So that's true, by the way. So we need to understand one thing, that all these people who come here and they look for a job, and when they go and they apply for these positions, they don't have that background actually, and they do not have that qualifications. So by getting this small qualification, you can add a cherry to your cake actually. And this is what it makes, that whatever education that you have done in your back home in your countries, by having a small 39 hours course, gives you that Western Canadian touch or an American touch, and then you can go and apply for a job. And then the chances actually are a lot more as compared to simply going with your qualification that you achieved back home, and now you are just ending up into a company.
With a lot of times with companies, when you bring, and I've seen this happen to a lot of people, is that they are very, very accomplished back home.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you know about the education back home system back home, you're like, oh my gosh, like, wow, like you're so accomplished. But sometimes when it comes over here to hiring management and talent acquisition coordinators, they're unable to recognize how much you've done. So it's also just about translating that experience over, and like you said, just giving it a little bit of that Canadian touch. So you're relevant. So you're basically just talking to them in a way that the HR or the talent acquisition or these hiring managers understand. And the best part is with Syscom and with Brassy is I find that a lot of people, especially immigrants, when they come to the country, they're a little bit scared. They're like, we don't want to sit in a classroom with 30 people. What if we say something wrong? What if this happens? What if that happens? One of the things I want to highlight about Brassy is you can learn at your own pace.
Yeah.
They offer you the comfort of doing it at home on your own, giving the exams and giving you and changing it up in the middle as well. So if you have a little bit of that shyness of I don't want to be in front of other people, I don't want to be in front of students, because sometimes that happens. There's numerous times where I felt uncomfortable in a class in university and I sat all the way in the back, right? But you can make your own class and you can sit at the back of your own class and be comfortable doing it as well, because that's important.
I totally agree. So this is good stuff. So what else do you find other than Syscom? What else?
So today I'm only going to cover about 2 more courses because I want to go into detail about it so you understand what's being offered. So the next one I would like to cover is CSCF, which is a certification in supply chain fundamentals, which is basically the bare. It's the starting point for you to get started. It's a jumping point for you into the industry. It focuses on global trade, careers in and what you look from it is careers in procurement, manufacturing, transportation, warehouse. It's really ideal for planning, inventory management, and logistics. And like I said, procurement, productivity, and customer service. So it is the starting point, the jumping point, just getting your feet wet into everything. But if you don't know too much about it, if you're not too comfortable with it, it's a great place to get your fundamental information.
This is so great, actually. I think this is worth it, actually.
Absolutely. And then the second one I'm going to talk about today, or actually the third one, is CSTL, which is a certification in shipping, transportation, and logistics. And this is kind of like a step up from the supply chain fundamentals, where you learn about managing domestic and international shipments, modes of transportation, warehouse management, but it still covers customer service and distribution as well. So it's kind of like a little bit of a stepping point from the fundamentals and moving a little bit further. And then as we continue with our episodes, we can go over the other courses that they offer as well. And at the end, you will have a complete step ladder of all the possible steps that you can take. And we can guide you about where in that step ladder you could fall and what's the next step when it comes to each and every one. So basically, we'll give you a roadmap. And if you needed a cheat sheet code, we're here for that.
Well, that's great stuff. Honestly speaking, walking us through the different courses and then letting us know how beneficial these courses are. They're pretty cost effective. In our coming episode, we'll also let you know how much would that cost you actually, how you can get yourself enrolled in the class, what kind of benefit that you get, what kind of discounts that you can get, and if we can organize a class, we can get you enrolled into it. We can identify. You have our TV numbers on the screen. You can ask for me or for Anoush. We can help you through in order to let you know the procedure in order to be enrolled with those classes.
So, and a little bit of that career coaching as well from our 30-year industry giant right here. So if you want to take advantage of that, I definitely would.
Thank you so much, Anoush, for if you can't take it as a compliment. So for sure, I mean, we would do that. We will be, following up. The focal point is our business. Business, when I say, we would like to bring you to the place where you can prosper in your professional life, also in your personal life, actually. And it's pretty important that we have to build that vision ahead of time. not just basically when everything is just passing by, and we're just part of that, looking at each other. We have to position ourselves. We have to be eligible for that, and we will be working close with you. And so I think with this we should beg leave from our audience.
Absolutely. I know we've given them a lot of information and a lot to think about. Thank you so much for spending this time with us, and hopefully we'll catch up soon.
Thank you, Anoush, thank you for the program. Thank you.